Hello crafty friend, it's Justine. Today I'm going to use some watercolors and watercolor pencils to use with my BetterPress images because I really do enjoy the watercolor process and I really have enjoyed using the BetterPress system from Spellbinders. And I wanted to add color to these gorgeous pieces that I've already made. Now this one is with the white paper and this one was with the bisque. So you can kind of see they're a little bit different color. Maybe it's easier to see there. And I used a few different BetterPress plates to create these. I will link them in all the products in the description. This piece up here is the same piece as here. I just flipped it around and pressed twice. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. It's kind of going to be a different style than I typically do. I don't usually do watercolors on YouTube, but I've been inspired by this system and I found these old watercolor pencils in my craft room. The copyright on them is from 2002, so they're 20 years old, 21 actually, and I had these as a girl and I was always so scared to use them. So look at how much I've used them. Barely at all, right? Well, they're still good, but I definitely used these watercolor pencils and I have them in a baggie. Not really that aesthetically pleasing, but I used to use these for face painting because it was like a little fundraiser at our church back in the day that I would do face painting and like hand painting on someone's hand, and I would draw with the watercolor pencils because it does come off with water. So I'm also using this brand, Rexel Derwent. It's German. Derwent. Rexel Derwent. And these are just watercolor pencils. I have no idea if they even sell these or the company is still in stock. I have no idea. So I'm just going to put that out there. You can probably find a watercolor pencil of your choice. And I'm dropping pencils. Perfect. Somewhere online. I don't know. With that being said, my watercolors. This is a set that I bought at an estate sale. This company still is around. I just checked online, so maybe I will link it. I don't know. I don't know anything about the company, so I'm kind of leery about linking things if I don't know about the company. I don't really want to promote their stuff if I don't know about them. So, like I said, I got it in the estate sale. It has 2 layers here of color, and it definitely has worked for me. It looks like I've barely used them, but the little pucks pop out, and I've washed the back before, and it's been all fine and dandy. Okay, enough chit chat. So when I watercolor in my craft room, I like to use this surface. It's the glass work surface from Tonic and Tim Holtz. So it just works really well for me. And I like to have a spray bottle on hand. We're going to do this card first. I just made the call. And first of all, I like to spray the whole piece. Now, you can use watercolor paper to do this technique, or you can use the BetterPress paper. And the BetterPress paper is a cotton paper, so it definitely soaks up a lot of the water. And I also like to put water under the image too, so it doesn't come up. There we go. Now, everyone kind of has their way of watercoloring. This is how I do it. So if it is against the craft or the art world, just bear with me and forgive me for making mistakes. I like to also spray my paints like that too, and then I like to have a little blob of water off to the side so I can kind of get my brush wet and mix colors off the side. Oh, looks like there was already color in my brush from the last time I painted. See, I told you I'm a messy crafter. I'm going to start with the brown and just give the whole card like a light wash. And so I want my color to be very diluted here because this is going to kind of give it an antique look. And I'm just going to bring that color right on to my paper and just kind of get that brown on and kind of fluff the edges a little bit because I want there to be that antique look. Yes, I'm going to put color over this, so don't worry. And I guess I could have started with a darker cardstock, a darker paper in the first place, but I don't know, I think it's kind of fun to make my own backgrounds. Alrighty. Now, I don't know if you could tell, but my brush motion was just kind of like this pouncing around motion, nothing dragging, because that might take some of the fibers from the paper and pill the fibers, and we don't need that. Now I'm going to switch to adding some colors to my floral areas, so I'm just going to wipe up some of the brown just with a paper towel. Very high-tech tools here, people. And then I'm going to spray down some more of a water blob for my work area. I'm going to give the brush a squeeze as well. There's going to be some brown still in that brush, but it's fine. On this first card, I'm going to just use the watercolors. So if you have a watercolor set at home and you want to try this, you don't have to go buy the pencils as well to give it a try. Now I'm just going for it and I'm not explaining. I'm sorry. So my brush is wet. I got it in there, and then I just lightly went into this teal, and I'm just going to pounce this brush. You can see it has a ton of color on there already. I'm just going to pounce it on the leaves. And it does not have to be perfect. It might come out of the lines, and that is just fine, because I'm just getting green down where the green might go. This is not going to be perfect. This is kind of a artsy take on a watercolor here. Okay, so now I'm going to get some of that pigment out of my brush and just kind of get this color moving. Nothing is going to stay. My goal is really not to stay in the lines, but to get the color around where things are. So the green is going to be close to where things are green on the image. It's going to spread. I feel like I've said that like 10 different ways. But if you're looking for precise watercoloring, I don't really feel like this is for you. This video will inspire that here, which is fine. So that green has kind of pushed out and been a little bit dreamy. Now I'm going to use the red next, and I'm just going to see what the red looks like. I think that this is more of like a fuchsia red. Yes. So I'm going to have some of that red here, but then I'm also going to add some of this kind of orange red, just so it isn't too pink, because I don't want pink roses on this project. I was going for more of an antique red rose. That's getting close. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm just going to pounce my paintbrush a few times so it's not too much color, and then just kind of bring it in a little bit. And it's going to spread just like that green, and that's okay. Okay, this is so fun to do. Usually I'm doing this by myself, listening to music or a podcast or something, and not doing it on camera, so I'm not used to talking during this process, but the wheels in my head are just constantly moving. You're just hearing a few of the thoughts. Okay, I think that's plenty of red. Now for I think these are cottontails. I don't know. Maybe there's something else. We're going to go with a yellow. We're going to go with a golden yellow for that part. And then I might add some more brown on the edges. So let's just go in with, do I like that one? I'm not gonna put too much water down for this part because the part that I'm coloring now is kind of a small area. My paintbrush does come to a point, as you can see, so I'm really just gonna be putting a small dot on these areas, but it's going to spread just like everything else. So just a dot will do. Remember, I had this hair gel from dance when I was a kid, and it would say on the package, a dab will do. So a dab will do for this. Okay. This is looking kind of crazy already. The red really has popped. Now I'm going to take some of the brown and just kind of go in on the edges and have that be helping me with helping me make it look a little more antique. If you're ever watercoloring and you don't want things to mush around like my colors are here, you can take like a heat gun or a hair dryer and dry in between your colors, and that definitely will help give you more of a layered look, but that's not really what I'm going for today, so that's just for another technique, I guess. Oh, this is just really turning out nicely. Okay. Next, I'm going to just kind of clean up my area. I'm going to let this dry just a little bit and maybe just kind of move it over on my work surface so I can start my next card, and we will use the watercolor pencils on that one, so stay tuned. As I'm setting up for this card, I am just noticing the colors changing as this dries, and I just want it to be a little bit more pigmented, so there's definitely plenty of water down here. I'm just going to take my brush and just add a little bit with just like a little pouncing motion, just to give a little more color definition to the flowers and the petals, because the green kind of has almost disappeared totally. So I'm gonna go back and add a little more in. Let's just go back to what we were doing, which was the next card here, which I'm going to use the watercolor pencils with. So there's a few ways of using watercolor pencils. You can use them like your paint palette and have your brush be wet and take a wet brush onto the pencil and gently scrape and rub it off and then add the color. Or you can use the pencils like you're coloring it and then add water at the end. And that is what I'm going to do today. So I am going to simply color this and then spritz it with water at the end and see what happens. I have not done this in a long time, so I really have no idea what it's going to look like at the end, but we're going to find out together. Now, I'm coloring this rather hastily because it will blend not as much as that one, I'm assuming, but it's going to blend out a little. So it doesn't have to be a perfect color. It doesn't even have to stay in the lines. It doesn't have to be the whole leaf like I am coloring. It just has to be color kind of where you want it. I'm going to use this green, and then I'm also going to pull in a darker green, and it's more of like an olive color. Watercolor pencils, when they're dry, they are dry. I feel like I am really scraping along here and getting some color, but not a lot. Okay, that's good enough for the green. Now for the blue, we're gonna have a purple rose because that just sounds gorgeous to my brain. With the rose, I am going to be a little more deliberate with coloring and just go on the edges with the dark, and then have like a light go more toward the center of the petals, but still being kind of hasty. This is one of those trust the process moments. But if it turns out kind of not how I like it, we're just going to adjust and pivot and try it again. try again, like they say. Just look at the color differentiation between the tip and the end. This is like totally purple. This is blue. So I don't know if that's just part of it being 21 years old or what. No clue. Just gonna make all these little flowers this blue, even though they're probably not the same flower. I get it, but you know, this is art, and I'm gonna just decide that they're gonna be close in color. Maybe add a little bit of this purple down to the rose. Is this even a rose? I feel like I've said rose a few times, and now I'm kind of second guessing myself. I don't know if this is a rose. Okay. And then this pink. By the way, if you're going to get a pencil sharpener, get one with a twist off lid. Trust me, it just makes it easier, and then if it falls on the floor, it's not going to pop open, shavings everywhere. As a kindergarten teacher, I feel like I'm pretty much an expert with pencil sharpeners. This one is fabulous. It's from the Staedtler company, which, if you know pencils, you know pencils. The best student pencils are Ticonderoga. If you ever want to make like a teacher happy, buy them Ticonderoga pencils, because I guarantee you they're gonna like them. For the butterfly, I'm not going to use the cool tone blues and greens. I'm gonna use this pink. So it kind of is like a nod to this center flower here, but isn't matching perfectly. And I'm gonna push pretty hard here because I want this butterfly to be vibrant. And maybe I'll just do it lightly on the edges, and then I'm going to come in with a little bit of another purple on the butterfly. Maybe a pink. Let's do a pink. If you're interested with more from the BetterPress, I have made a few videos with the BetterPress things already. I did one yesterday with just some die cuts. That was really fun. And then I did a whole video on Saturday that was like my thoughts and opinions on the BetterPress. So if you're interested, check that video out. It's on my channel, and it shows you how I BetterPress. So there you have it. Okay, now for the exciting part. I'm going to spray the image. Yes, spray it. So I'm going to just hold a paper towel up, kind of like a shield for this one. I'm not placing it on, but just holding it so it doesn't get the other one soaking wet. Here it goes. Here goes nothing. Again, I'm just using this spray bottle. Definitely have to practice more with watercoloring. I'm starting to make a little bit of mud, which is the green and the purple coming together. So I know I said I was just going to use watercolors on this one. I changed my mind. Just use watercolor pencils on this one. But I have changed my mind, and I'm going to pull out some of my paints again, just because I think it needs a little more pigment. And the watercolor paints really just are pigmented, and we're just gonna keep it artsy fartsy around here and just kind of see what we can do. Really want that purple just to kind of live its life here on this card. And yes, it is basically drowning in the water, and that's okay. We're going for a dreamy, watery look. I'm going to go in with this like cobalty color and just pop it on the parts that to me look like cotton. I don't know if it is cotton or not, but it kind of looks like it. And then whatever these flowers are. I'm not a flower person, as in I don't plant them and enjoy gardening, but I know a lot of people are. I love looking at flowers. I'm just not a gardener myself. would rather be in my craft room without bugs. At this point, it's practically a little lake here. Another lake in Minnesota. Land of 10,000 lakes. And just give it a little clean. I just love this surface because it just cleans up so easily. Plus it keeps my desk from getting wet, which is a win-win-win. Okay. My too much brain is taking over, and I'm going to put some of this like periwinkle color down next and just see what happens. I just love cool tone colors, and I just think that this is really exciting me. I'm trying to keep the sentiment kind of lighter, but on camera it looks like it's almost white up there. So I'm just going to give it a little color. There we go. Just keep the blues going in. Kind of crazy to think that I started with almost a white piece of paper, and here we are with this like lagoon blue, purpley card front. I'm going to soak up some of the water and some of the color on the big flower because I want all the detail of the flower to really come through because it's been better pressed. I don't want to lose that detail. And then I'm going to come in with my darkest blue and kind of go on the edges like I did my first card. And I'm really loading up my paintbrush here. It's full of color. I know I said the edges and now I'm going everywhere. Told you, too much brain. It's overreacting. It's overdoing it. I'm just going to putz a little bit more with the area by the butterfly, and then I'm going to step away and continue filming after everything has dried, because if I don't physically walk away from this, I am going to putz with it until I can't stand looking at it anymore. See, here I go again. Stop it. Okay, walking away. I'll be right back. In YouTube world, it'll be like seconds, but in real life, it'll probably be an hour because I'm going to do some housework, be an adult, and come back and show you both projects once everything's dry. Now that everything is dry-ish, we're going to just keep on rolling. If you noticed, I had these propped up like this so airflow could get on the back and the front once they were mostly dry. And that just helped the drying process before they were just resting on some paper towels. They were very, very wet, so they are dry-ish now, and I'm going to add some gems to the front. And I really do like the way that they turned out. I think the way that the BetterPress paper held up to so much water was just kind of amazing. So that's pretty neat to see, and I really like the way that the paint reacted on this one with the pressed areas. You can kind of see it here with the H. It just kind of went around there really interestingly. So I definitely like the look of my products, and now it's time to add some gems. So I have some leftover gems from card kits, and I thought I'd pull out the blue ones for this card. This one lost its little sticky on the back, so I'm going to use some glue to put it on. And then the other one, I think I'll use the kind of peachy mauve color. I don't know why I added 3 glue drops because only one of them technically needs it, but now it'll be extra sticky with the glue. This part of my tool-in-one was really nice for lifting up my painted pieces when they were on the glass top, because instead of sitting there and picking the edge, I was able to just kind of gently slide this under and I could lift up my project. So I know sometimes people are like, well, what is this even? You know, what do you do with it? I use it for gluing a lot. I use it for lifting, like I just said there, but it's really kind of a handy little tool. And this tool-in-one is just one of the tools that I always have on hand. I know that this purple one, I don't think they sell anymore. I think they just sell the black and the white. So, you know, I think it's just a more trendy thing to do black and white, but I'm a color gal and I like color, even though my nails are white. I just want to say, in my BetterPress video, I went on like a whole thing about, oh, beige, blah, 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 it's horrible. Not like beige and gray is just kind of blah, and I like color. And here I am with white nails, but my nail tech does my nails, and I literally I usually just sit down and I'm like, you know, do your thing, girl, because she is amazing. Last time I went to her, I sat down and she's like, so what are you thinking? And usually I just tell her, do whatever you want. This time I said either black and silver or white and gold, because I wanted something to be kind of more of like that clean look for the BetterPress cards, just because I'm kind of weird and I wanted my nails to match my projects. And it, like I said, I like color, and it turns out that all of my projects have kind of a lot of color on them. So isn't that just the way life goes? But I love the way she does my nails. It's just amazing. So shout out to Stephanie. She's just such a creative person, and I totally respect her creative nature is just fabulous. Okay, I am just loving the results from the watercolor with the gems and the BetterPress. This is just gorgeous, and I definitely think I'm going to be doing this more often. Probably not too much on camera, because you guys, all of that filming was a total of like 30 minutes. But if it's long, I hope you've enjoyed it. If it's short, hopefully you enjoyed the fast forward sections. And I definitely will have some more videos with the BetterPress products coming in July. I'm so excited about that. So if you have the BetterPress system, let me know in the comments and let me know what you've been making. I know they've just shipped on Saturday, so maybe you're getting yours soon. I hope that you get it soon, and I hope you really enjoy it just as much as I do. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you have liked the video, hit the like button, or learned something, please let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more videos from me in the future. We'll see you next time. Bye!